In our organizational meeting, which occurred last night, we wrapped up at about 9:30 last night. In fact, the teams actually continued to meet after that for several hours. We named the following parties to this investigation: the Federal Aviation Authority, United Parcel Service, the Independent Pilots Association, sometimes referred to as IPA, the Teamsters Union, which represents the mechanics for UPS, Boeing Corporation, which is the now manufacturer of the aircraft after a consolidation with McDonnell Douglas, and GE Aircraft Engines. Now, the NTSB has put together a multidisciplinary team, and I mentioned yesterday the different groups that we put together. And so we have actually brought in additional specialists. Right now, the NTSB team is over 30 individuals. We've brought in additional vehicle performance specialists and a materials engineer. And of course, they are being supported by dozens of individuals in Washington, D.C. and elsewhere in the country. We have no issue bringing any resource that we need to make sure we have the right people in place while we are on the ground here. Now, we have received preliminary flight data information. This would be commonly referred to as ADSB. These data points that were provided by the FAA showed the aircraft for the last reporting time was at 475 feet of altitude, traveling at a speed of 183 knots. This data point was collected at 5:13 and 32 seconds Eastern Standard Time on the night of the accident. This information will be coupled with the flight data recorder information and other information that we receive that will help us prepare a timeline of exactly what occurred and in what progression, what was known in either the cockpit or on the ground, and it is another important part of the information. Yesterday, we also did what was called a FOD walk. This is a foreign object debris. This FOD walk occurred on runways 17 left, or L, and 17 right, or R. During the FOD walk on 17R, we found multiple pieces of engine fan blades, along with the main component of the engine of the number one engine, which is on the left side of the aircraft. We have transferred all of those to a secured location for further examination, and we'll be using that to further analyze any mechanical aspects. And I mentioned yesterday we had recovered the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder, often referred to as the FDR and the CVR. Last night, one of our recorder specialists flew overnight with that recorder, immediately went to the NTSB headquarters where we have a recorder's laboratory, and extracted the data from both the FDR and the CVR. We consider this a good extraction with good data points, which means that we will have even more information to help paint a comprehensive picture. So with that, I'd like to introduce Shahoon, who can give you a few specific pieces of information regarding the flight data recorder.
Both recorders were recovered and disassembled at the NTSB Recorders Lab in Washington, D.C. The FDR, or the flight data recorder, download was successful. It had about 63 hours of data over 24 flights, which included the accident flight. This FDR recorded about 420 parameters. Those parameters included altitude, airspeed, engine information, as well as system statuses for the onboard systems installed. The NTSB will form an FDR group at Washington, D.C. at our headquarters in the coming day. The CVR, or the cockpit voice recorder, was also successfully downloaded. That contained about 2 hours of audio, which included the accident flight. The CVR group will convene at the NTSB in the coming day to do a transcription of the recorded audio for the accident flight.
Thank you. And let me reiterate again, the NTSB does not release the audio of any cockpit voice recording. A transcript ultimately will be made available of the pertinent information regarding the actual flight itself. As Shahoon said, this will take a few days to not only get the information, but to make sure it's validated and verified by the experts and the parties. So we will not be having any information on that for at least another day or two.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.